Hey guys, this is Intuitive Anthony doing another YouTube video. This topic is going to be about being chosen. Hey guys, this is Intuitive Anthony doing another YouTube video. I had some time to think about it, and I decided to speak on a subject that I've been heavily researching lately. Just trying to make some sense out of the situation I was born into and where I see myself in the future and where I'm at right now. And the topic is being chosen. But before we get into this video, guys, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and also hit a thumbs up on the video so that YouTube will know this is a good video. Now that I got the formalities out of the way, guys, this topic is on being chosen. Item number 1. Your faith is not a basis of God's choosing you, but the result of it. There are a lot of people called to walk with God, but through the hustle and bustle, as it is in the background of day-to-day life, some people either can't hear him, or they have so many distractions and people and things going on in their life, they have not humbled themselves and gotten quiet enough to hear God and actually heed the call. So when they say that you can be called by God, but sometimes people don't hear, or their life is not like consistent and quiet enough to be able to hear God in order to answer the call. But to be chosen by God is basically a blessing that God has bestowed upon you. It's nothing that you can do, nothing that you have done to be given this blessing. You can prove yourself. You can try to be worthy. None of us can actually meet that mark, but you can try to be worthy. And you can do everything in your power, and only God knows if you really are sincere at heart to be chosen and to actually receive the blessing that he's given you. And hopefully I can find myself in that category. I think we all, good God-fearing people would like to be in that category. Number 2, therefore the basis of God choosing you is not you, but the grace of God, which is what I just said. I reiterate the same thing. It's nothing that we can do that can earn our way into his good graces. It has to be something that he sees in you, something that he is willing to bless you with. And I think a lot of people try to count, their graces with God by what they can do. And there's nothing that any of us can do, because we're all flawed creatures. From the moment we take our first breath, we're crying, we're needy. We basically want attention, and it's me, 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 me. And some of us, when we get older, never quite grow out of it. But it's a blessing to be even considered chosen by God. Number 3, since our faith is ordained, is owing God's grace of us, we can know that we are chosen. If you work to obey God and work to keep the commandments and try to live, even though we all fail, we try to live by God. We try to live and do right by God. Some people don't care. They just live for themselves, for what they can get, from others. It's a very selfish way to live. And I mean, God knows every person's heart. They can put on airs of spirituality, of confidence, of this, of that, but when it all boils down to it, God can see past all of that nonsense. And it's, our obedience and wanting to do right by God, we all fall short. That's no surprise to anybody. Anybody that knows of church and knows of the Bible knows that we all fall short of the glory of God. But the fact that you keep trying, even in the face of failure, and you continuously try, that in and of itself at least shows God that you're trying. And who knows how God makes his decisions? That's not for me to say. That's That's in the power of the Almighty. I can't speak on that. All one can do is try, and try with good faith and with a good heart. And even though we fail, continue to try. But these are just talking points that I wrote down. That way I follow a certain formula, and I'm not just firing it off at every different angle. I wrote down talking points, so when you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing, guys. Number 4, being chosen by God means no charge against you can finally stick. Like, the enemy always comes against us with charges and accusations. And if you're chosen by God and you work hard and God sees that within you and chooses to have you, to mark you as chosen, one of his creation, none of the charges that are accusations that the accuser can throw out to you will stick. God's already, he's already redeemed you and saved you, in a manner of speaking. You've been blessed so that none of the accusations that he can hurl out against you will stick. And that is a blessing in and of itself, because there's so many layers to being chosen. Some people think that it's a badge that they can use to beat others down, but if you're truly chosen, you worry about the state of your soul every day. It's not only when times get bad, or when money gets tight, or when death hits close to home, or in times of great need and struggle. You worry about your salvation and what it all means, and hopefully, in spite of all the obstacles you face in your life, you still want to continue and strive to do right by God, and to do right with the blessing of life that he gave you in every facet of your life, in every area. We all fall short, but we continue to try to make changes to become better. And that's something that's within the heart. And you can't see that on the surface. But you can also tell, people on earth can tell what's in your heart by the way that you conduct yourself, the way that you keep striving to move forward, and you keep pushing and pushing for better things, and to look at a situation from a different point of view. Be a little more level-headed, a little more cool, a little more calm, think a little more, respond, be slower to respond, and take in the good, the bad, and the ugly, all in purifying your soul throughout the mess and chaos that is this world. Number 5, being chosen by God is designed to secure us for the sweetness of humility. There have been many, many times where you fight and fight and fight to come up, and it turns around and you get slapped in the face. But you choose not to stay down. You pick yourself up and you continue on. A lot of people take one disappointment and they just, okay, well, this isn't going to work, and they just completely give up. But the fact of it is that you never give up. As long as there's a breath in your body, you do not give up. It may not be, you may have to take a step back, look at the situation, come at it from a different standpoint, come at it from a different thought process. Sometimes you have to sit back and let the hurt wash away, and then come back at it again. And you keep coming back and keep coming back until you either plateau and pass that point, or you just keep coming back at it and never give up. Never give up. And those are some of the things they taught us in elementary school, preschool. The only time you really lose is when you stop trying. And we all have heard that before. And if you haven't, you're hearing it now. The only time you really lose is when you stop trying. Being chosen is a race. Being a chosen race is the end of racism among Christians. Now, when I was looking at my talking points for this video, I think the topics were bulked in under Calvinism, and that is not me. I'm not into organized religion. I am an Israelite. So this one I put a star by, because with Christianity, we all know the racism and the racism connotations that went along with that. That's why these Caucasians went and tried to civilize these other nations, basically all the brown people. So this right here sounds like it doesn't fit into what I'm saying, but I wrote down the talking point because this one I think is directly trying to tie this category to Calvinism, and I'm not going there. I'm not having that. I'm not hearing that, because Christianity in and of itself was derived from Israelites and our Savior Yahushua. But what they did was they tried to mold it to fit their image of God, which is not true faith. So I'm going to move on past that one. Number 7, being chosen by God, being destined for everlasting and the satisfaction of infinitely beautiful God. I sit back a lot of times and I think of what it's going to be like when this race is over. When on that day when you hear either "Well done, thy good and faithful servant," or God forbid you hear "Depart from me, ye cursed, into the fire I have prepared for the devil and his angels." That crosses my mind very frequently. And as long as I keep that first in my mind, it will always help motivate me to try to make the best possible decisions in any situation I come across. If you are not worried about the state of your salvation on a regular basis, then you may not be chosen. But if you're worried all the time about where you stand with God and how can you show him more appreciation, then it's written on your heart, it's written in your mind, and those are the things that God responds to. But nobody can decide what God's going to do. Only God can decide that. The only thing you can do is keep going, keep trying, and make sure that you remain humble and keep going. Number 8, being chosen by God means that God will use all of the necessary means to bring you into his eternal glory. Because I used to sit back and wonder, like, why did I have to go through so many things at such an early age? When I got old enough and away from the situations and the environments I was put in that were completely out of my control, I tried to contact a member of my family, and they did not want to speak to me because me and my sister had a rough life, and they didn't know what to say at all. They didn't know what to say, so instead of dealing with the situation, they'd rather just completely pretend like it didn't happen, or not speak to that person because they would hate to have to think about what me and my sister had to endure, because the road in our life was fraught with turmoil and thorns and sticky bushes and snakes and vultures and predators and all of this stuff, and they didn't know what to say. They didn't know what to say, and my smoke detector beeped and my dog barks every time she hears it when I'm going to get smoke detectors this weekend. So if that's what you're hearing in the background, that's just my dog. But it seemed like I had a rough road in life, way more difficult than other people, and I was always wondering, like, am I cursed? What is this? Like, the basis of not knowing your parents, where you come from. But I think at the same time there was a hardship, especially when you're in your developmental years and you're trying to figure out who you are as a person. Then you come to find out that without that, I can be whoever I choose to be. Whatever's true to my heart is who I am. I don't have to worry about letting the world try to mold me and shape me and force me to think this way. My slate is clear, free and clear. I can do and be who I want to be. And I don't have to answer to nobody. Only person I have to answer to, and it's not a person, it's a being, is my creator. That's it. And for many, many years growing up, it was kind of like a lost identity. Like, I didn't know who I was. Not only that in my personal life, but as a nation of people who are Israelites, who have been sold off and hidden in the world, and had another group of people pretend to be us. Even aside of all of that history, my own personal history was a mystery to me too. But that also gives me the freedom to be myself, be true to myself, be true to my God. And if anybody or anything does not line up with that, bye-bye. I don't need it. Me and my Creator, I have made it this far. I don't need anything else. And everyone should be so lucky. Like what I thought was a curse was what now I see as a blessing. Because I'm not tied to anybody. I'm not tied to anybody. I'm not tied to a whole family of who shot Johns, who want to borrow, leech, and moan and do this and do that. I don't need that. All I got is me, myself, and I, and my Creator. That's all I need. So if anybody comes along or any situation comes along that does not line up with that, see ya. I don't need it. And everybody should be that way. And if not, you should be working towards that, because the world will try to put you in a box. And as a chosen one, you will be a peculiar person to the rest of the world. The way you move, the way you think, the way you behave, everybody is not going to understand. Everybody's not going to understand. And who cares if they do? If you die today or tomorrow, that person and how they feel has no bearing on where you're going. And once you realize what's most important, all that other stuff falls away. It should. And I think it's also because I'm in my 40s now. When you get in your 40s, you get a real good sense of who you are, what you stand for, what you will tolerate, and what you will not. And then me dealing with my upbringing, I have even less patience for people in their baggage and their garbage, because I had to deal with it when I was younger because I had no choice. But now that I'm in control of my fate and my destiny, if you are not a friend of mine, if I don't connect with you, I'm not going to have you in my company. Period. So all of these functions where people are getting together and all of this stuff, those are people I used to know when I had no choice but to. But now that I'm older and an adult, those people don't call me. So why would I stop and miss work to go hang out with some people I used to know who don't like me, and obviously I don't care for them? Priorities. My priority is to me and my God. Anything outside of that is noise, and I just don't want to hear it. And that doesn't make me unhappy in the least. Peace and quiet is what I need. When you grow up at a very early age being tossed around and everybody's objectives and opinions of you, while you're trying to figure out who you are as a person is being thrown upon you, the best thing you can do is to get away from all of it. Their opinions are their opinions. Whether they like you or don't like you, that does not change your destiny and where we all go when we die. And I'm worried about my salvation. Them, I could care less about. So it's all about putting things in order, priorities. And that's where it's at for me. At least that's what's important to me. Being chosen by God means that God shapes history on your behalf. Everything that I have gone through in my life has led me to this point. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And I used to wonder about what my legacy would be because I outlived my mother. And at the age when I surpassed my mother's years, it was a lot. That was a rough birthday, because I was like, she had kids, I have none. So she had a purpose for being here, but that didn't keep her on earth for one more day than it was supposed to. So history will be told that in spite of whatever tremendous obstacles we all go through, how you persevere and how you come out on the other side will dictate exactly the fortitude and the character of the person. And I no longer care about what people down here say. As long as I know I did the very best I could and did everything within my power with the breath that I have on this earth to do better and to leave the situation a little better than I got it, I'm a success. And as long as my Creator finds me worthy, anybody on earth who doesn't, who cares? I really don't care. Number 10, and the final point, guys, and then I'm going to end this video. Finally being chosen by God means that He will gather us when He comes and give us justice. Now that has got to be the most sweetest thing to my ears. That He's going to come and gather his people. And when I got this house and moved out here, the new house and everything, and it just by happenstance, every place that I tried to go to wasn't suitable. And then on the off chance, a voice turned down this road, and it was just a perfect space for my house. And the landlord said, I want you on this area, so look up there and see a spot that fits for you. And there were rose petals under this tree. Now mind you, there are no flower bushes anywhere out here. And there were pink rose petals, which means love and caring. And they were right under this location that I thought was perfect, and I knew that was the spirits telling me this is where you're supposed to be. And in this 10th subject I'm bringing up, that God's going to gather us when he comes and give us justice. The street sign in front of where my house is, where those rose petals are, where my house is now, is called Harvest Drive. And if you think I'm playing, I'm going to put a picture of the street sign that's in front of my house in this video, so that you will know that I am telling you the truth when I say Harvest Drive. Okay guys, this has been Intuitive Anthony. This is all about being chosen. But before we end this video, guys, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that you'll be notified when new content comes out from Intuitive Anthony. I'm doing videos about awakenings, black issues, reactions to country music, anything that needs to be told, and trying to open different minds. Calm down, girls. That's just a smoke detector. I was almost done with the video, and y'all just had to get in on it, didn't you? But guys, I'll be back with more content. There's a lot going on this channel. I'm really taking it full steam, guys. But make sure that you hit the subscribe button, the notification bell. This has been Intuitive Anthony, guys, and I will talk to you again, guys. Peace.